How y'all doing? I'm Paul Ryan, your host of the Across the Cowboys podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you for joining us. And to our regular listeners, welcome back. Back from vacation, just in time for a Victory Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, with me as always, the best co-host in the world, Mike the Pig Crumb is back. Mike, how are you?
Doing good, my friend. Glad to be back. Glad to have skipped that weird ass week where for some weird reason, the team was just like jinxed for a week. I don't know what it was, but the team just seemed different for this last week. And whoever put that jinx on them, don't do that anymore, guys. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that guy's the worst. I'll tell you that.
Well, it could have been anybody. Could have been a group of people. Could have been who knows what caused that weird week. But hope it doesn't happen in November 12th when they play the Giants.
Something about Disneyland and the Cowboys playing football games, man. It's not a good combination.
I was at Universal. We won at Disneyland last year. That curse was broken, and I'm standing by that. It's now the Universal curse.
Fair enough. Mike, before we get into it, man, where can we find you on Twitter?
At CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan, and you can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, after a performance that the Cowboys gave yesterday, it's only right that we have an extra party to join the discussion tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, back like he never left, the newest member of the Across the Cowboys family, please welcome back Brenden Fergie Smith to the podcast. Brenden, how are you?
I'm doing great. Man, last week it's kind of against the Cardinals. It's kind of like the team was on a vacation. It kind of felt like that, didn't that feel like that, Paul? Like they were on vacation.
The defense was definitely on vacation last week.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but we're all happy to have Mike back.
Yeah,
too many churros and too many beers.
This damn Cowboys team. What are they going on vacation for during the season? Don't go on vacation during the season. If that's one thing that they should take is don't do that, man. Only idiots would do that.
Seriously, though. Seriously. All right, Brenden, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
You can find me at Brenden_Smith26.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, normally this would be the part where we start off the episode with Meatless Monday, but because Mike went on vacation, I thought it'd be cool for Mike to share his trip with us all. So, Mike, talk to us about your trip, man.
I'm too hungry for talking about Meatless Monday anyway. You guys know that. I'm ready. I'm ready, dude. I don't even care about my trip. I'm ready to eat. It was fun, man. It was great going with Jazzy. That is like my goddaughter, basically. And she is amazing. She is a little girl, 5 years old, going on 6 years old, I believe. Ooh, I hope she's not 6 going on 7. That would be the worst godfather ever. But she goes on every ride. Like, does not Guardians of the Galaxy. And not even scared. Like, we took the picture. She's looking at us like, yeah, this is fun. I have videos of her going on the Grizzly where we're going. She's laughing. The water's hitting her. And, man, it was a blast to go with her. I wish we could have got a few more pictures, all of us together. But overall, it was amazing. And I hope I get to go again with them soon after the football season.
Dude, it's so cool to watch kids experience things like for the first time. You know what I mean?
I'm like a 7-year-old when I go to Disneyland. I become a kid, so they always gravitate to me. I'm always like, every time I go with the West Ends and their girls Bree and Anna, and that's a blast. And it was a blast to go with Jazzy, and I'm going back with Bree and Anna and Matt and Amanda in November. Sorry for the Giants game. God, we better win that or I'm never going to hear the end of it. But, I want to go to Disney World with that group that I went to Disneyland with here. And hopefully it works out where we can do that. And I can't wait to go with Jazzy especially.
Sounds great. So what has better rides and attractions, Disneyland or Universal Studios?
Oh, God. Don't even – are you kidding me? That's Disneyland. They're not even comparable. That's like comparing the Kansas City Chiefs with whatever dog shit team you want to pick from the NFL. Some other crap team. No, they're not even comparable. Universal, you could be done with by like 2:00. Disneyland takes like 3 days to fully experience.
What about as far as like bang for your buck?
That I guess there's a case for Universal for that because it's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper to get like a pass where you go all the time compared to like Disneyland. Like my pass, like $1,600, and like a Universal was like not even $200. Like it was nothing. But it's just not. I mean, like now I'm like I've done Universal. Like I might go. Might go one more time with my pass. Where Disneyland, I would go constantly if I could. I'd go every day if I could. So, it's just different. Maybe some people don't like the crowdedness of Disneyland. Sometimes it can get crowded. Where Universal, it was pretty crowded one day there, but overall, I went Sunday. It was pretty dead. The next day, it was busy. I guess there was some kind of thing Monday, but I'd take Disneyland 100 times out of 100. I would never go to Universal again just to go to Disneyland one day.
Fair enough. Okay, and one last thing. What was the best thing you ate?
Ooh. Damn, I got to go through that in my... I know the answer to that. I'm just blanking on it. The best thing I ate was... God, I can't... We have to move on because I can't... I know the answer. I know because it's one... Because I didn't have the birria tacos this time. Steph got them. I didn't try them, but there was something else that I got, and I can't... Oh, they had really good stuff at Augie's Pizza. That was good. That was right by the hotel. And they had really good pizza. I feel like I'm blanking on something. If I think of it during this podcast, I'll be like, oh, it was this. I'll jump in.
No worries. Sounds good. Well, let's talk some football, boys. Brenden, I'm curious. Did this win move the needle for you at all?
It made me feel better with mainly how, I felt like the coaching staff just let the entire team down last week. They just didn't feel prepared at all. The offense looked better. Defense shut everybody down. I was terrified of a Zeke revenge game. I thought somehow, with our awful run D, everyone played better. So it moved it a little bit. It made me happy, but the big test is next week, but it helped a little bit.
Mike, how about you?
Yeah, I think I'm where Brenden is. All I put was next week as a needle mover.
Yeah.
This one's not a needle mover. Win the game next week.
Yeah, it was nice. Sorry to cut you off there, Mike, but it was nice to see the defense bounce back. I expected us to win, like you guys said, but I want to see us play a good team, if you will.
Agreed.
Is this considered a signature win when you think about the point difference in points, Mike?
It wasn't for me. No, I just, the kind of once they got up 18, it was like this game's over. I kind of knew it was going to go back to conservative. This team can't do enough to our defense, so just hold the ball, no turnovers, and that's basically what happened. So no, not for me.
What about you, Brenden?
The only reason I say it is just because that was the worst loss Bill Belichick has ever had. And it's nice that we destroy Tom Brady in the playoffs, so we end him, and then we give Belichick his worst loss when it could have been his 300th win in his career. So it felt good, but no, I'm with Mike. That's the only thing that would push it over the edge.
I'll say this. For the defense, I think this was a bit of a signature win. But, man, the Patriots just aren't a very good team, so like you guys, I'll have to say no as well. Brenden, were you surprised that the team set the record for the worst loss in Belichick's career?
No, because I feel honestly like you despise him because he wins, but he's great. Also, EJ, that couldn't have said it better myself there. But that team's not talented. You have Juju Smith-Schuster's number one. Mac Jones is awful. Y'all saw me talking in the group chat. I'm like, bro, he's this bad. And all that. So, no, it's not. We blow out a bad team. No shocker.
Yeah, for the third time this year. Mike, what about you?
I was shocked that not that we did it, like Brenden said. I'm not shocked about that. We're much more talented. I was just shocked that in his career, he never had some crazy game where he lost 42-3, where it just, that's how good and well disciplined he is as a coach, is that just, he did, like, 35 points doesn't seem crazy. Like, Miami just beat a team 70-20. We won a game 40-0 already this year. Like, you would just think it'd have some weird game where even if you take just the games he didn't have Brady, he had some weird, but he never did. So that was kind of shocking to me, that like never had even a weird game where he lost more than 35 points. Like, that guy's such a good coach. It's crazy. He might be underrated, and he's probably the GOAT of coaches, like in all sports. So that's insane.
It is kind of crazy to think about, man. I mean, he's been a head coach for 29 years, and this is the first time he's lost a game by 35 points, like you, Mike. It is shocking for real. But Prescott here, he had some thoughts. Handling Bill Belichick, the worst loss of his coaching career, I'd say that it was a signature win for sure, especially in considering the chatter surrounding this team entering the game. I didn't hear too much chatter about the Cowboys as far as maybe people thinking that we were going to lose this. Did you guys?
A little bit. I heard like one fan I saw on Twitter, oh, Dallas is going to be down by 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Like, this guy was just going like full homer, saying like the Patriots are going to somehow blow us out, and like we're going to show who Dak really is and stuff. But other than that, no. But
I was at work, and I was talking with a coworker, and I overheard our kitchen manager. He was like, I thought I heard him say the Patriots are gonna blow out the Cowboys, and I was like, "What the hell are you talking about, dude?" He's like, "No, the Patriots are gonna." I didn't say that. The Patriots don't stand a chance against the Cowboys. But yeah, I didn't hear anybody even predicting that the Cowboys would lose a close game or thought that we were gonna get blown out. So yeah, I'm curious to hear the chatter that Matt's talking about, because I find that interesting. Mike, did you hear anything like that?
I was on vacation. I didn't turn anything on, didn't listen to anything. I avoided all of it, especially after that loss. So I didn't hear anything, but it's because I wasn't listening for anything.
I hear you. Brenden, Mike, was there a play that shocked you about this game? What was the most shocking play in this game?
It got to be the 2-point conversion fake, right? I mean, when you out-scheme a Bill Belichick team, they spotted it and they worked on it once in practice. It worked, and they nailed it, So yeah, that for me, out scheming, anytime you can do that to a Bill Belichick team, that impressed me. That was a great play. Our special teams unit might be our best unit overall. I mean, if we're being honest about it, like they didn't have a game where they gave, Cardinals, so they gave up 200 yards rushing. Like they haven't had a lot of fumbles. They've had one missed kick. Their punter's great. Like, as far as consistently being great, our special teams, our best unit on the team. It's special teams, so you don't elevate it up, as much.
Yeah, Brenden, this is a question by you. Was that your play as well?
Yeah, I remember like Leighton Vander's touchdown. My dad and I were hyped, and so I just walked back to the kitchen. Like, we're gonna kick the extra point, whatever. We'll get back on defense. And all I turn, my dad's like, "What the hell?" I turn around, like, "Why is Chauncey Golston with the ball?" As I see him just sprinting down the field. And apparently that was like the first 2-point conversion like converted ever with the extra point being pushed back.
Yes.
So
that was the first one. Because if you're going to go for it, you'd think just go for it from the 2-yard line. But like I said, out scheme Bill Belichick. That's impressive.
Absolutely. Brenden, do you believe that the defense redeemed themselves with this victory?
For like 95% of it, yeah. Like, they still had some plays that annoyed me. Like, Malik Hooker got lost sometimes. D-line was washed inside on runs. But other than that, Deron Bland, Mike's guy, holy crap, phenomenal. Leighton Vander Esch, Dante Fowler. We finally had a defensive end chase the quarterback outside the pocket, and look what happened: fumble. Leighton Vander Esch touchdown. Where was this against the Cardinals? Man, you're telling me Josh Dobbs is that much better than Mac Jones? Come on.
Every dog has his day, man. Michael, what about you? Did this defense redeem themselves in your eyes?
I want to say wait for San Francisco, because that one matters. But like Deron Bland didn't have a great game. He played way better. Leighton Vander Esch didn't have a great game. He played way better. The D-line was completely undisciplined in Arizona. Like they're why we were so terrible in that game. That you could put that all on the D-line. They were just undisciplined. They didn't fill gaps. They didn't care. They were just stat hunting. And so in that regard, yeah, they redeemed themselves. But overall, stop McCaffrey and Kittle and Purdy and Debo and Ayuk. Like, do it to them. I don't really. You look at it like the Giants game was pretty impressive. You got to give them credit. The Jets game, it was Zach Wilson and them. They weren't great. Then Arizona, you stunk, and now it was Mac Jones and a Juju Smith-Schuster and Ezekiel Elliott team. Like, that's not it for me. So. I guess they did, but I want to wait till next week.
Yeah, I think they did too, man. I mean, agreeing with Brenden here, just the way that we dominated them, the defense dominated them. It was nice to see them have a bounce back game. I know every victory that we've had has been against bad teams, but it's nice to have a dominant game like that heading into the week that you're about to have against the team that you're about to face.
Devin Witherspoon just picked sixth Daniel Jones, 97-yard return for a touchdown.
Yikes, that's a $45 million interception right there.
Dude, maybe he really is just bad.
He is. I just like to point this out, though. Me and Mike don't have to be on the same podcast because we think just like him talking about that defensive line is exactly how I talked about it last Monday. Like, that was like pinpoint what I was talking about.
They were poor. They were bad. You want to blame Leighton Vander Esch, but if none of your guys are covering up for you, you get, even on ones you miss, it's because in your mind you're hesitant because you're like, are they going to do their jobs? Do I have to worry about that? And that goes through, especially a guy who's a green dot, a leader guy. You can't have that going through his head. He needs to just be able to react. My guys are going to do their job, so I can do mine.
Fair enough. I know Akoi Media, shout out to him on Twitter. He had a pretty good breakdown of the game overall, and he had some interesting breakdowns of Leighton's play against the Cardinals, and even in some games last year, I think it was against the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was just kind of hesitant to hit the hole and make the play and things like that. So interesting stuff, if anything. Mike, did you worry at all that Micah didn't come off the field after he got hurt?
Yeah, hell yeah. No reason to have him out there. No reason. I don't need you stat check. You're going to play all of the games when you play. These next 4, you're likely playing a shit ton. So get your rest now, especially if you're hobbling around. Like, don't need you out there in those blowouts. I know I get the idea of trying to get your numbers and everything, but we're trying to think about Super Bowls. We ain't trying to think about numbers. And people getting blown out, and you're out there like they feel like you're showboating it up and trying to play for stats and everything, they'll take a cheap shot on you. So just, the coaching staff needs to be enough to go, hey, we're good, Mike. Like they did with Zach Martin. Like Zach Martin has done more in his career. He could easily be like, nah, bro, I'm staying out. We need continuity on this line, this and that. They said, no, let's go. You're out. Got to be able to do the same thing with Micah.
It's not like he's in jeopardy of not getting a big-time contract, man. I don't know why he felt the need to get out there, like you said, run the numbers up because he's already proven himself. So, yeah, I mean, the coaching staff definitely has to do a better job of protecting him from himself. Brenden, what about you? How concerned were you about that play?
This is exactly what I talked about Friday. You talked to me like, what's Micah's biggest weakness or something on the lines of that, and I said himself. I don't think he's doing this for the contract. He's Jerry Jones can say, hey, fill this check out, you do whatever, and that's what he's going to get. But he wanted the sacks. I think he wants the sack record so bad. He wants legacy more than money. So if he can have multiple rings, an all-time sack leader, he'll take that any day of the week over being the highest paid player ever. Yeah. But yeah, no, as soon as he hobbled one play, he was offered one play, I just tweeted out, I'm like, nope, done, you're done. Get off the field. I don't want you anymore. But no, he was out the next drive. Well, the second drive after that. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself? If you're hurt against San Fran, I love D-Law. I love him a lot. you want to put that all on D-Law to rush the passer against that team? No. Dear God, if we lose Micah.
Yeah, that would be a lot to overcome, losing a guy like Micah. Another player who is hurt, might be missing some time, Rico Dowdle. He's been productive playing behind Tony Pollard. Mike, do you trust the other backup running backs behind Rico in case he does miss some time?
I do not at this point. And as you guys know, I'm somebody that you got to show me. And so, no, at this point, I don't until they show me something.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to, oh, yeah, I trust them because I'm a fan. And they're going to be able to, do it because I like the team. That you guys show me something. And nobody has. So, there's situations I am confident. Like I like the running with Hunter Lemke at the goal line, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like this is a backup. You got to be able to play the position. Tony Pollard can't just sit out there the whole time.
Right.
Do I believe the other guys can play the position? Like, hey, Tony Pollard got a cramp and he's going to be out for the quarter. You got to play this whole quarter. So do you know the offense? Can you do all the stuff? No, I don't. I have zero confidence in that right now.
So you are a shower, not a grower.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm very much a grower. Very much a grower. But in this situation, I'm a show me.
How about you? Do you trust any of these backup running backs?
I like the.
I like the grower.
Okay, so I agree with Mike. I like to play to Hunter Lipke, which I've been pounding. I'm like, say use him and Rico in the red zone more because, bro, you have a 6'1", 234-pound back. Like he's got to lower his shoulder. If you give him a decent amount of blocking, he's in on the 2-yard line. He's in. Deuce Vaughn, how they use him pisses me off. I don't know what we have in him because you know what? We have a 5'5" running back. You're going right up the middle. Why? Get him in space.
Yeah.
Get him in screens. Dude is like, F it. You're going up the middle. I know Pollard's out. As soon as I give Rico his flowers, I'm like, dude, for the past 2 weeks, he's been great. Even with the awful Cardinal game, like he played well in his snaps. And I say, we never knew what we had because he always gets hurt. And here we are again. Hopefully he's not out for long, or maybe not at all. But it always happens, and it's just so depressing.
Do y'all have any faith in what Malik Davis might be able to do?
No.
Got to show me.
He looked awful in preseason. Like that was the most boring runner I've ever seen, and he did well last year in the regular season. But that preseason was awful.
Yeah, I believe he can get you what the O-line blocks for.
Right.
And that he hasn't shown me more than that. So if the O-line's blocking great, he'll get you the yards. If they're not blocking great, he's not a player that makes plays for you.
Well, I know it came out that he was upset that he wasn't getting any opportunities in that San Francisco game when Tony Pollard went down. So now he has a chance to prove himself. So I'd like to see what he can do behind an offensive line that's NFL caliber, not so much, backup talent.
Agreed.
That's fair.
If Rico happens to go on IR, would you like to see the team bring in a veteran running back, Mike?
I would. It's after week 1, so none of the contracts are guaranteed. So if he's IR, you're talking 4 weeks. Yeah. The way I would do it is the first 2 weeks, the California road trip, I would bring up Malik Davis and see what Davis and Hunter could do. And then it's the bye week, and you can then get your veteran running back prepared. Now, if Davis and Hunter are good, then don't worry about it. But from what I know now, my thought process would be, let's see what the kids can do. They're 2 weeks. They got good competition. If you can run on the Niners and the Chargers at their houses and do what you need to do in pass protection and everything, great. But, if not, then bring your vet in.
Brenden, what about you? Should we bring in some veteran talent?
Unless you're going to bring in a Ronald Jones or a Leonard Fournette, which I don't want playoff Lenny anywhere near this team. We got rid of Zeke.
Why?
It's playoff Lenny.
Dude, he's played in a lot of important playoff games, man. He's still productive. He can catch. He can be a threat in the red zone. I mean, he can pick up those hard yards, man. Playing behind
If
Paul.
it's playoff Lenny or Malik Davis, what would you like? That's your choice.
Playoff Lenny, without question.
I just don't like him, man. I don't think he would fit the scheme at all. I'd much rather to see Lipke. If we're gonna start either Fournette or Lipke, I'd much rather to see the young guy to see what he could do. But it's because the free agent market is it's awful. It's October. What else do you expect? We're not gonna see a Dalvin Cook again in free agency like that. We're like, oh, okay, cool, we'll sign him as our backup. No, that's not gonna happen.
I'd rather have Fournette over Dalvin Cook.
For the money, I would agree. I mean, Dalvin Cook's been pretty awful. I'd like one of those two young Jets running backs. Can we get on the phone and get a Carter?
It'd be amazing.
I agree with that more. There's a reason why Leonard Fournette's not signed. He's probably out of shape, like he sometimes is, but it's just like it. I just see nothing with him. He's not the Jags player, or even the first 2 years with Tampa. I see nothing in that.
It's possible.
I mean, he could most definitely be washed, but I still think he's probably better than Malik Davis.
That's also possible. Even a bad Lenny Fournette could be better than Davis just on what he's got up here. Like I said, I want to see him for the 2 weeks, and then we'll talk about Lenny or Ronald Jones. My guess would be Jones because he was in there. He knows the system more. He would get the first call.
Oh, boy, our guy Jordan Stock. Let's give Adrian Peterson a call.
Dez at running back.
Witten, let's bring Witten back to play tight end, be our tight end 3.
Romo, he knows all the plays.
Oh, wait, hey, I'm getting a call. Oh, dude, it's DeMarco Murray. Great.
DeMarco, how you been, man?
Man.
Oh, man, that's funny. All right, let's move along here, boys. Brenden, if Dallas doesn't bring in another running back, would you be comfortable playing Deuce Vaughn more?
If they can actually use him. I haven't seen that they can use him. But he has juice, but they're like, oh, pass protection. No.
Why? Yeah.
He's a buck, 50? Or I'm sorry, probably a $170. Come on, no. If like I said, you use him on the outside, yeah, but right now, no. They gotta learn how to use him. But they're like, run up the middle, see how many yards you can get. You're small, they won't see you. He's not gonna fit in those tiny gaps like they think he will. Like I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, that was weird because when I saw him being used in the fourth quarter, it didn't really make any sense. The plays that they were running for him and asking him to do, it was I don't know, not really putting him in a position to succeed and just not really helping the team. Him being out there,
not at all.
Mike, what about you? Has he? I mean, I know he did a lot in the preseason, but what are your thoughts on Deuce Vaughn in an expanded role?
No, I'm good. I can't trust him in pass protection yet, and it's not the size for me. He's just late seeing it, or he misses it completely. And that I understand you need snaps to get better at that, but that's going to have to come in practice. Like I can't put you out there affecting my starting quarterback in our whole season. And y'all know I love Deuce Vaughn. I think coaching staff wise, what they're doing is they're trying to fool people. Oh, they think Deuce Vaughn's and it's going to be an outside run. We'll run him up the middle and people won't expect it. No, that's fair. And it's not working clearly. But yeah, it's not even the running. The running will come with better blocking, with what they need to do. But I can't trust him to protect my quarterback enough. Like what he's doing now is fine. A few plays a game to clean up stuff, But as far as like taking Rico Dowdle's spot, no.
How do you feel about him? Being used in the red zone. Could he be a weapon in the red zone?
Hunter's the weapon in the red zone. I not Deuce. Hunter. That's the guy I would go with myself. Not that you don't use Deuce. Of course, he's small. Right. He's hard to see. there's certain things you could run with them. But I mean, if you're talking about the Zeke 12 touchdown, read action, give it to the big guy, or Dak takes it, that's Hunter to me.
How about you, Brenden?
I completely agree. This isn't Lance Dunbar or Darren Sproles yet. He's a 6th-round pick rookie. Like, he still has a lot of time to grow, learn. Maybe down the season, like, you see like he's finally grasped it in practice, then you use him. Right now, no. You hopefully Pollard's in there, or you just go up the middle with Lipke. Like I said, 6'1", 234. Let's let that go.
Yeah, fair. Mike, looking at Pollard, man, are you surprised that he hasn't been doing more in the red zone with his opportunities?
Very, because he's a running back that makes people miss. He's a good yards per carry running back. So I'm surprised that he hasn't, been able to get a one-on-one and shake him. Maybe it's an offensive line thing,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am. I'll be honest. I'm surprised with the lack of success in the red zone for Pollard.
How about you, Brenden?
I blame the offensive line. You see them crashing those holes so easily because also, guess what? You're predictable. First and goal, second and goal. Oh, they're running up the middle. We know where this is going, and Pollard is just there to die. Like, there's no chance for him to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was looking at the numbers earlier, and out of 27 total touches so far in the red zone, man, he only has 2 touchdowns. I mean, that is shockingly bad.
And that was week 1. That was all week 1.
Yeah, really. It's crazy. Here we have a comment here. Let's see what somebody might have some insight on this as well. It's our guy Jordan Stock. He said we need a fresh Pollard. Do you think the carries are already taking their toll on him?
Next week he should be fresh. I mean, what he only took 11 to 15 touches somewhere in there this game. So I mean, you could see the plan. They're going to wear Pollard out and then let him go at the end of the year. I mean, they did it to Murray already. It's a smart thing to do, but you do need to have him kind of fresh for the playoff run. So, like, I don't want to see him around the 300 carry mark or touch mark going into the playoffs. I'd rather see him in the 250 zone, 250 to 280. So, we'll see how they adjust that. This week was good. They got ahead and they said, all right, let Deuce and them take it.
Yeah. So we had a red zone scoring, a red zone score, if you will, Dak to CeeDee for a 20-yard TD. Outside of that, man, again, the issues continued. Brenden, how big?
They didn't. That's not red zone's got to be inside the 20.
The Lipke touchdown was.
The Lipke touchdown was inside the red zones.
Because I thought I saw John Oding, I guess he was joking, but saying that the pass to CeeDee was a red zone touchdown, but maybe not.
The official is 19 yards to the goal line is the official red zone. But I mean, if you have any common sense, you're like, okay, it was a 20-yard line. They scored in the red zone, basically. But I didn't want to hear it, people commenting like, no, it's not. So I was just cleaning it up. It's not technically red zone.
Thankfully, Mike, we don't have too many haters that join the show, but I understand why you would say that. But yeah, going back to the question, even outside of the Lipke touchdown and the CeeDee touchdown, how big of an issue are the red zone issues still?
Yeah, you're asking me, right?
Yes.
I hate. So I'm super happy about blowouts. It's super fun. That play pissed me off, but yeah, Jordan. But these huge scoring games hide the fact that your offense marches up and down the field with ease. Not even a word. And as soon as that 20-yard line hits, they get like play calling just goes out the window. They get ultra conservative. You see players running into each other like in the Cardinal game. You'll see so many in routes, not even slants. You'll see multiple in routes. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Dak will miss, like Jake Ferguson was open, not for a touchdown, but he was open right in front. He misses them. Schoonmaker with that ugly, ugly drop. I think Fergie comes down with that, but it's still a major problem. It's hopefully we somehow clean up against San Fran, but yeah, it's been ugly.
Mike, what are your thoughts on the red zone issues?
That's the whole thing. We're going to find out the next 4 games. We got, what is it? The 2 West Coast, and then the Rams at our house, and then the Eagles. And if they're still having troubles in the red zone, they'll lose 2 or 3 of those games because those teams are good, and you got to put up points. So right now they're not an issue because you're 3-1. I give them a break. I give the offense a break in the Arizona game. They had 3 starting offensive linemen out. Like, you're gonna call your game plan different in that game. That game was the defense. The defense. I expected the offense to be meh at best with 3 starting offensive linemen out. I didn't expect the defense to get cut up for 200 plus rushing yards. So the 3 games where the team wasn't down 3 offensive linemen, they put up plenty of points. It's been blowouts. They get conservative. You know, they don't want to give stuff up. So we'll see if the red zone's an issue these next 4 games.
You know, just kind of sticking with the red zone here, Mike. Do you think it's a scheme issue, execution, or play calling?
Oh, it's all execution to me. We talk about the Schoonmaker dropped the ball, right? And he absolutely – Dak threw a dot, and that should have been a touchdown. Brenden Cook's wide open, and Dak missed him on that play. When you watched all 22, wide open. Dak didn't even look at him. They run into each other on a run. There's 2 zone reads where if Dak just keeps the ball, he walks into the end zone. So going back, Tony Pollard scores a touchdown, a holding call away from the play by Tyron Smith. Ends that. Dak misses Ferguson, wide open in the end zone. CeeDee Lamb doesn't go for a ball. He's looking for a call on a fade. Like, there's only, like, I understand the play calling's not perfect. Like, I'd like him to be a little bit less run the ball, pass. But the plays have been there, and the players haven't executed. That's more my issue. It's all an issue. The play calling is definitely an issue. But for me, execute. Like, Schoonmaker, catch the ball, you know, or Dak, throw it to the guy who's not double covered that you have to throw a perfect pass and he has to catch it between 2 people. Like, just play it. I feel like Brenden said, they move up and down the field. They're top 2 in plays per drive and time of possession per drive. Then they get in the red zone. They just kind of run into each other on a handoff. Like, I you know, it's like it's in their head. I don't know how to explain it. So for me, it's execution mainly. All of them are an issue. But for me, it's mainly execution. If they execute, they score at least 5 more touchdowns. And then what's your percentage, you know?
Right. Brenden, how about you? What are your thoughts? Is it scheme, execution, or play calling for you?
First off, it's good to have Mike back. I miss these little rants. I had my first.
That was a short one.
Hey, still something. But I think it's the first 2. Of course, execution. No, Mike said it perfectly. Like, I can't add anything on to that. But also, these simple plays, like, you're thinking, like, you're trying to get so conservative. Like I said, all these in routes. And, like, I hate going back to the freak. No one cares about the New England game. We're going back to the Cardinals. But, like, in route to Brenden Cooks, put a bigger body out there. It's the coaching with that, too. Of course, you know, Dak misses them and all that. But, dude, stop with these in routes or try to get cute plays. Run the routes that work. Get your players on the outside on single coverage. I still want to see an actual fade route to Michael Gallup. So it's both. They miss plays. Chuma Odoga can't block to save his life. I still say send him to China until I see otherwise. But yeah, it's both. It's atrocious still.
Also, the play action play where they don't block the guy, they leave him because they think he's going to go down the line and try to stop the run. It does not. It hasn't worked all year. I don't know why they keep doing it. The guy has been taught when you play the Cowboys, you stay on Dak Prescott. Your job is not to go down the line and stop the run. Their run game is not good enough to where we need you leaving Dak to roll out. It has not worked all year in the red zone. Stop calling that. It's frustrating. I'm like, at some point you have to be like, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah. Mike, is this Dallas offense good enough to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, it's like I just said, top 2 in plays per drive, top 2 in time of possession per drive, and gag in the red zone. Eventually, you would think with repetition, with the O-line being able to play together, with Dak getting more time with Ferguson, Deuce, Hunter, Cooks, Tolbert, you would think that eventually that would clean up. Not that they'll be dominant, but with our defense, if you clean it up a little bit and you just become a middle of the pack red zone team, you're going to be near unbeatable. So, I think their offense is good enough.
Brenden, how about you?
Like I said earlier, anything before the 20, one of the best offenses in the league, easily can win. I can see them going up and down against anybody. Red zone kind of just takes them down to mid. I trust a team to get if I want any team to get a field goal, it's Dallas. I'll put all my money on it. I'm like, okay, we got this, boys. But to actually put 4 more points on the board, I don't trust.
Mike, how much do you think of this red zone, the issues in the red zone are just kind of working out the kinks of the new offense?
I feel like the players aren't like, when they watch the tape, they've got to be like, damn, how did we miss that? Like the 2 plays Dak keeps, Jake Ferguson's like, bro, why would you not keep that? Like, you can't be afraid to run, and you can't always hold it. Oh man, Daniel Jones is bad. You can't hold it. He's just so bad. I can't believe they paid him. He is awful. Look at the Giants fan. Man, your quarterback is terrible.
What was that?
But he stinks. But I'm sorry. He's so bad. He got me off of even topic. So Daniel Jones stinks. That's the point. And go ahead, Brenden. You take it from there.
Dude, like I said, it's great to have Mike back.
Absolutely, yes.
I guess you can say it's learning, but I don't feel like they trust it. Like, I don't know how, what we've been talking about the entire show. Their offense goes up and down the field. That play is working great. You'll see Michael Gallup stretch the field. CeeDee Lamb will moss a defender. You'll see even Kevontae Turpin wide open. And now they're all like, I don't know what I'm doing. Is this my route? I'm confused. And they're like, oh shit, I ran my route 2 yards too thin, and now I'm running into somebody. I don't get it.
They choke in the red zone. It feels like they start to tint, like they get nervous in the red zone, like, oh shit, we have to score, otherwise the media is going to talk about how we can't score in the red zone. And they drop passes, they miss reads, they just gag. I think it'll clean up. I'm just being honest about the first 4 weeks. Last 3 weeks.
All right, Brenden, who's your player of the game?
Oh, it's so easy. I thought of this. Oh, it's so simple. The person who led the team in receptions, the person that led the team in yards, Jake Ferguson. Oh Fergie. My Lord, what a game, man! That is what I was expecting the entire year and half of last year. He was just reliable. That out route, he completely cooks somebody. Just actually on the money, pulls it in. All these third down plays, bro. Ferguson breaks tackles too. We've never seen this. Jason Witten falls. Dude, Ferguson's yeet, gets the first person away from him, and he just runs down the field. It was so great. I was so happy. Even my dad's like, oh, so your guy's going off. I'm like, yeah, he is.
Mike, how about you, player of the game?
Man, I'll be honest. I thought all of us were just going to go 1, 2, 3, and all 3 of us say my guy from Fresno State.
DaRon Bland.
I knew you were going to go DaRon Bland.
It's DaRon Bland. He scored 10 points for us. We win the game just off him. He picked 6-1 and then intercepted another one to set up a field goal. The game's over. We win 10-3 just DaRon Bland. So, I got to give him, especially the bounce back. He was targeted pretty heavily against Arizona. They attacked him, and he was in the middle of a transition. He was half the week he was playing nickelback. He had to move over. So it took him 1 week to get ready, and he killed him. So, Bland for me.
I knew that was going to happen. Sorry, Paul.
No, you're good.
No, I knew that was going to happen, but also I'm the conductor of the Jake Ferguson hype train. You think I'm not going to talk about when he leads a team in receptions and yards? You think I'm not going to bring him up?
Most targeted red zone player in the NFL, too.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That Schoonmaker play should have been Ferguson. Should have. I don't know why. I don't know whether, like, you know what? This drive, Schoonmaker's going to be out there. Why? What has he shown you?
It should have been Cooks. Cooks was wide open.
Hey, Dak threw a perfect ball. Let me have this Ferguson stuff, Mike.
It's true. Ferguson likely catches that and it's a touchdown, but Brenden Cooks waves at people when he catches the ball. He's like, "What happened? I'm sorry."
No, they're you're fine, but they're really conservative with Cooks. He wasn't really getting the ball till the fourth quarter. Then they're like, "Okay, fine, we'll start throwing him the ball." So I don't know what's going on. If they don't trust him, he's still hurt. That's just it's weird.
I swear to God, if he doesn't get a bomb pass against San Francisco, the way they squeeze on defense, especially against our offense, if he doesn't get a deep shot, you'll see a rant. Oh, you'll get a rant then.
All right, Mike, who gets your player spotlight for this week?
Got to go Tyler Smith, man.
Oh,
top-rated guard in all the NFL as of right now through his 2 weeks of playing. I get it. He is a really good left tackle, and left tackle is important. And I understand completely if after this year they move him out there. I'm not moving him. He is a monster guard. He will never be at left tackle what he is at left guard, and the dude's played it like 2 weeks and is an absolute killer. So yeah, Tyler Smith deserves the spotlight. That guy is top-rated guard in the NFL in his 2 weeks playing. Beast. What a crazy pick. Golly.
Brenden, how about you?
I was thinking about Tyler. I just hate Chuma Adoga. Nothing against the man himself. I bet he's a super nice guy and all that, but he needs to go. That's the only reason I want him at tackle. I want Tyler at guard in the long run, but okay, Tyler did maul. I was kind of scared of us running even with Pollard a little bit because it's Bill Belichick's defense. You never know who's going to show up or anything. He's a mauler.
We haven't seen Tyler and Tyrod on the same side yet.
Why would you say that?
I can't wait. Tyler Smith has never played with his starting 5 offensive line his whole career. It's never happened. Tyron, Tyler, Biadasz, Martin, Steele. Sorry, go ahead. Player spotlight for you, Brenden. I apologize.
You're good. No, this leads me into a question. But do you really trust that Tyron's going to play? I feel like they're full of crap. They're playing conservative, but he's going to tweak something very minor, and he's going to be out for another 8 weeks. I'm tired of it, man.
I think Tyron's going to be back versus Niners. I just think they basically let him rest the 2 games. Like if this was a playoff game, he'd have been out at left tackle. Dude was in uniform in the Arizona game. Why am I not playing? And they basically were like, we're going to get you prepared because the 49er game is going to be and these next 4, forget the 49er game. Chargers are going to be tough. Then you got the Rams after a bye week, and then you got Philly. Get them ready. I get it. I just think the problem with the Arizona game is, man, you really you made your defense have to play perfect because you limited there's only so much you could do. You can't get your quarterback killed with 3 offensive linemen out. So this game, I didn't mind it because Zach and Biadasz were back in, so give him a day rest. But I would be willing to bet the farm that he plays the 49ers game.
Khalil Mack had 6 sacks. Just pointing that out to y'all. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks Sunday.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Who is Khalil Mack even playing for?
The Chargers.
He plays for the Chargers.
Oh, my Lord. Oh, okay. That's the relevance. Now I get it. Is Bosa playing or is he injured?
No idea. I only heard it because, 6 sacks in the game. That's kind of nuts.
I don't believe I think he's still injured for some reason, but maybe I'm confusing him with Nick, but I'm pretty sure Joey's out.
Yeah, because Nick's playing, so I think Joey must be out.
Yeah. Mike, you mentioned the defense having to play perfect. Dude, we gave up over 200 rushing yards. I mean, if you can't stop, prevent the Arizona Cardinals with Josh Jobs from doing that, I mean, I don't know, just even keeping them at 150, is that really asking your defense to play perfect?
Oh no, they sucked. They sucked. They were why we lost. I don't care about the red zone was bad and it didn't hurt. But with 3 offensive linemen out, I expect us to struggle. That's an expectation that I go in and go.
Yeah.
You're missing 2 All-Pros and a Pro Bowl center. Like you're gonna have some issues. I didn't. Even my pick was 23-13 or something. It's not like I expected them to go crazy.
Right.
And I even said I thought that it wouldn't be an offensive touchdown, 23-13 with a special team or defensive touchdown. So I really had the offense limited, but the defense, you can't give up 200 yards. They just didn't try. They didn't maintain any discipline. They just said, we're going for our tackles for loss and our sacks, and they misdirected us to death. And Niners are going to try to do the same thing. So they better come prepared. But no, that they sucked that game. That they were stinky.
Brenden, who was your player spotlight? I'm not sure if you ever said. I didn't hear you if you did.
No, I agreed with Mike with Tyler. He just bullied everybody. It was beautiful.
Yes, sir. My guy has been Michael Gallup, second on the team in receiving yards, second in receptions. Most importantly, putting together back-to-back productive games. Love seeing Gallup doing well, man.
I think he was second in the league in separation yards this week too, which is huge. I mean, if you watched his stats last year, he was like second to last, and now he's second in the league this week, and he had like almost 50 yards of yak. So let's get a comeback. Oh God, this team's gonna be scary if he's really coming back.
Yeah. All right, Brenden, after 4 weeks, which NFL team is your biggest surprise of the season thus far?
I was going to be the Dolphins because, they've done crazy, but then they just lost to the Bills. So it's super tough. I'm not going to say shock, but just the more dominance they do, which I was hoping we were going to do. It's San Fran just because they're just bullying everybody.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They saw this Arizona team. Oh, you're coming back a little bit. We don't care. McCaffrey touchdown. You know what? I don't care. Purdy QB sneak for a touchdown. I don't care who gets a touchdown. We're gonna win. We're gonna destroy you. It's super simple, but they're just dominant.
They look like they're joking, like playing with teams, like playing with their food.
Right. Yeah, they're playing on another level. Mike, who's your surprise team of the season?
Mine, honestly, I went through and I think it's Eagles. And I know they're 4-0. I get that, and that's really all that matters. In the end, it's early in the season. They won their 4 games. But do I look at their team and honestly think that they're like one of the best teams in I'm not scared to play the Eagles. I don't think Niners are. I think Niners would roll them. Their defense looks bad in the secondary and up front. They have a good pass rush if they get you in that position.
Right.
But their linebackers are suspect. Their corners are getting beat a lot more than you expect. Their safety play has been yuck. And then on the other end, Hurts has not played up to, he was an all-pro last year. He has not been very good so far through 4 weeks. Let's be honest about it. Let's be real. He's been solid. He's been good enough with the team around him, but he hasn't led the team like he did last year. Last year, I had to eat my words. I'm like, dude, this guy's a backup, whatever. No, he was all pro. He killed it. This year, he's gotten back to where if you make him go to the left, he's not very good going to the left. Like that cleaned up last year. That's back. People have been stopping his running, and he just hasn't been as good. He's been missing throws in the pocket. Like, if you mix the mixture of this team's defense versus any top quarterback, say the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, and what they would do to these defenses with Hurts play, I don't believe that he could play well enough to make up the difference in what good quarterbacks would do to that defense right now. Now, so far they played, Mac Jones, tough game first week. I'm not taking that away from him. Beating Bill Belichick in the first week is brutal. So that was a good win. Commanders always play them tough. They've had 3 times they've gotten double-digit leads on Jalen Hurts, and he's came back and beat them. He always plays them tough. So I'm not taking 4-0 is all that matters. They're better than us right now. But I'm taking. Am I surprised how they look through 4 weeks? Yeah, I mean they probably have the most talented roster next to San Francisco in all of football, and they're struggling versus teams that are like, I thought they'd cakewalk mostly,
Yeah.
So they surprised me in how they've played, and if their defense and Hurts don't improve a lot, they're going to struggle when they, walk into Tua, Allen, Dak, these quarterbacks, Purdy, these quarterbacks that seem to Herbert. When you start running into those guys, they're going to cut that defense up. This ain't Dallas's or Niners defense. So I'll be interested to see. They got their 4 wins while struggling. Now what do they do? 13 games left. How do they improve?
I look at the Eagles. I mean, they lost their offensive coordinator, lost their defensive coordinator, lost their entire secondary. They've got a young defensive line. I'd imagine, man, we're going to see what they're really about mid-season form because they've got a nasty, nasty defensive line if it can come together. You know that.
Yeah. Especially if the young guys can see. My worry for them is I believe Jalen Carter killed his first 3 games. I watched Osa Odigizua do that. Go back and watch Osa's rookie year. He destroyed teams for 6 games, and then he hit that wall. Now, Jalen Carter's a million times better player. Yeah. So, he's going to look more dominant. But at some point, you're playing him all those snaps. Jordan Davis is a one technique in his first year. Cox is older. And look at Hassan Reddick. He hasn't done much. Well, why? Well, teams aren't shading to Hargrave's side anymore. They're double teaming Carter, but they're also helping on Reddick, which they didn't do much last year. And now I think he has a sack, maybe. Like, he just hasn't performed the same. So, we'll see. We'll see, because their D-line could get better or could get worse as the year goes on, depending on how the wear and tear works on those DTs.
Absolutely. So my surprise team for the season, man, this team has really, really surprised me. They lose the Hall of Fame quarterback, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and replace him with a guy who's been labeled a bust, the number 1 overall pick. At 3-1, man, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are my biggest surprise of the season for sure.
That's a nice call. Their defense has been better than expected, and Baker's made enough plays to hold up that the defense is the strength, but Baker's made enough plays to where they're not the Jets.
Yes. I mean, Mike Evans was going off the first couple of weeks, dude.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Mike, here we are, your views from the sidelines. The first one feels like forever, sir. After 4 games, what is your evaluation of the Dallas Cowboys?
Talented enough to beat anyone, but are they mentally tough enough to beat the best teams?
I like that.
I know what Niners are mentally. We're going to walk in and whoop you. We're going to walk in and bully you. We know what we do. We run. We stop the run. We dominate the line of scrimmage. Is Dallas mentally tough enough? I mean, look at the Arizona game as a perfect example. They were like, we got this. I just don't see Niners walking into a game like that. Like, we got this. I ain't worried about this team. So if their mentality matches their talent, they're tier 1 of Super Bowl teams. I just got to see them do that first.
It's interesting that you bring up mentality because after that wild card loss to the San Francisco 49ers, Mike McCarthy made it a concerted effort to change the identity, to change that mentality of this team. And, you kind of touched on it there. It kind of feels like maybe they still don't believe.
I don't yet.
That's fair. How about you, Brenden? I mean, Has this team shown you enough to feel like they are, could win a Super Bowl, could make it to a Super Bowl?
No, not at all. They're dominating the teams that they should. And the Cardinal game, I don't care how ugly that game could have been. If we won, I'm like, oh, hey, there's something different. Because every year there's a game like the Cardinals. And you're like, okay, cool, sit back. You know what? Tyron, you want to sit? Zach, you want to sit? Whatever, cool. We'll win. Easy dub. And then you shit the bed. Do it every year. And they did it again. That was my feeling all week. I'm like, this isn't going to go well. Everyone's like, oh, dude, 31-10, 40 points. I'm like, no, not at all. And that's what happened. So, no, not right now.
I feel like Eagles won 2 of those games, too. Eagles had their Cardinals game against Commanders and whoever they played in week 2, which I'm blanking on. But I feel like they had games like that and they were able to win because I think mentally they are a little bit stronger too. They're not Niners, but I think they are a little bit, we've done this. We know we can do this. We know we can dominate the trenches. And so we got to catch up to those two.
Well, they do it. Oh, my bad.
No, I was going to say, you talk about the Cardinals game. Looking back, 2019, we lose to the Jets. 2020, we had the worst defense in the league, and we lost the first 4 of the 5 games. 2021, we lose to the Denver Broncos. 2022, we lose to the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, that's like we can just never get out of our own way, it seems like.
Oh, my God.
What is it, Brenden?
Daniel Jones was sacked 10 times.
My God.
He was sacked 10 I just got the notification. Oh, my God.
And Seattle's not even like a great D-line.
Nope.
No. That's insane, dude.
Hey, the national media, though, is going to tell you he's still better than Dak somehow. But, that's neither here nor there.
That's insane, yeah. No way. I mean, if after this week it's not obvious who the better quarterback is, then you just hate Dak, and that's all there is to it.
All right, get to this stupid bullshit true-false question.
Brenden, true or false, chocolate chip cookies are the best cookie?
I swear to God.
Dude, I say for like parties and stuff, yes, because like they're basic, but everyone loves them. No, dude, peanut butter cookies with a Hershey Kiss on them, I say are top. So I say false.
Micah,
thank God. Paul, do you believe this?
No, here's the thing.
Good. Okay, so we're all false.
No, and I was going to say chocolate chip cookies, I really only like them when they're fresh out of the oven. Outside of that, they're just like, a little too inconsistent for me.
I don't even have a chocolate chip I love chocolate chip cookies, especially when they're made with brown sugar. I don't even have them in my top 5 of cookies.
I think we ranked cookies, and I don't think either one of us had them in there. No, I had fresh chocolate chip cookies. I had them in mine.
That I'm thinking like coconut pecan, oatmeal raisin, snickerdoodle, hell, Oreo and like vanilla wafer are higher up. Like chocolate chips.
Oreos and milk is just
legend. Like chocolate chips good. It's not like it's a bad cookie. It's great, but I mean like white chocolate macadamia nut, like you could just you could run through like 6, 7 off the top of my head that I'm like, yeah, is animal crackers, good ones, not the crappy, but like the real dominant that have that little bit of lemon flavor in them, like the real circus animal. Those are probably better than chocolate chip cookies. Like
as the hunger starts to settle in, Mike is on edge.
I'm hungry. Hey. Let's get this top 5 over with. I got salmon and shaved zucchini salad ready.
All right. Brenden, one word. Heading into week 5, you're feeling blank about this Cowboys team.
Nervous. Like I don't feel safe.
I like it, man.
I don't feel safe with this team. They got prove. No, they're gonna do. We will win or lose. I say we win against Niners because I'm always gonna say that, but we'll win or lose. We're gonna go on a tear. And like, oh, dude, we're back. We're about to be dominant again. Yeah. And then you're going to have an ugly loss towards the end of the season. And then you're not going to feel comfortable again in the playoffs. If it happens like that, no, I feel unsafe on this team completely.
Mike, heading into week 5, you're feeling blank about this Cowboys team.
Unsure. Would it shock anybody for us to go into San Francisco, win, beat the Chargers, then lose to the Rams off the bye, and then beat the Eagles? And we're sitting there going, what the f is,
what is this team? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm pretty much unsure. I think the next 4 weeks will tell me a lot more. Ask me this after the Eagles game.
Fair. All right. After heading into week 5, I'm feeling impartial about this Cowboys team, man.
We're pretty much right and nervous, unsure, impartial.
Exactly. Yeah.
We want to see more. It's incomplete.
I mean, hey, if you've been a fan as long as Mike and I have, you definitely, have been through this before. You always have to see more. Brenden, you're one of the more logical, younger Cowboys fans, so it's nice to know that you're not buying into all the hype yet.
They do every year.
Also, Brenden won his fantasy league too, his game.
I did.
I seen that. I seen it.
Darren Waller got me 1 extra point. I won 132 to 131.
Beautiful. All right, top 5. Here we are. Shows we wish had one more season, man. And I thought this was kind of interesting because, there's some shows out there that had terrible endings. There's some shows out there that ended too soon. Or there's some shows that we just really enjoyed that, we'd like to see one more season of. So, Brenden, I'll start off with you. Give us your number 5 on shows you wish you had one more season of.
So, like this one I just thought of at the end because my top 4 are what I truly believe. But yeah. I like House MD. I thought that was a pretty good show, and so I'm not saying like how they ended, like we need another season. But I just liked it, so another season wouldn't have been bad. It was fun to watch. I got interested.
Cool, Mike. How about you?
My number 5. I don't have these in order. Where is the 5th one? Yellowstone. I wasn't as huge a fan as everybody else, but I would have liked an ending. I like Beth. Beth was pretty badass. And finding out that Cole Hauser played Beth's husband was like, oh my God, that's Cole Hauser? That's crazy. But it was a good show, like a 7 to 10 for me. I wasn't overly crazy, but it needed an ending. It was good enough to deserve an ending.
Mike, Brenden, are y'all familiar with the show Fringe? Because I am not.
Fringe. Not off the top of my head.
All right, number 5 on my list. This is kind of more so an ode to my wife, but I actually really enjoyed this show. Firefly.
Oh, good show. Good movie, too. Serenity.
I never saw Serenity, but when hanging out with my wife before we were ever together or anything, she always watched Cowboys games and things like that. So I always tried to show interest in something that she liked, and she finally convinced me to watch Firefly, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
You're lucky I'm hungry, dude. Otherwise, I would get into how the fuck have you not watched Serenity? Like, it's the Firefly movie. But skip that. We'll get to it. I'm hungry.
All right, Mike, number 4 on my list. This is low-hanging fruit, but Game of Thrones, man. Come on.
So you want to replace that one. Not like a new season, but like end it differently.
Maybe replace like the first half of season 7, I guess.
Just
because the ending wasn't bad, but overall, I mean, the last 2 seasons were pretty bad.
They built it up, and they gave you 1 episode of the Winter People. Like, what the fuck was that? Like,
but that episode was amazing. That episode was amazing. Not 1 episode, but yeah, you did.
That 1 episode should have lasted a full season. They built that up and then ended it in 1 episode. What is that? What is that?
It was so bad. Mike, what's number 4 on your list?
Number 4 on my list. Let's go. Oh God, here's one nobody's gonna know. Jean-Claude Van Johnson. Do you guys know what that is?
Oh God, no. But anything with Jean-Claude, I'm down to watch at least once.
It's an Amazon show where the actor is actually really is a spy, and that's his cover, is that he's an actor, so he can get around, and it's so funny. God, it was hilarious. I just wish they would have done it more. They did 1 season. The 1 season was really good. I just wish they had more of them just so I could laugh. And I love Jean-Claude, so JCVD is one of my all-time favorites.
Did you watch Murderville on Netflix?
Yeah, of course. Legendary.
So good, dude.
Brilliant show. Absolutely brilliant. Just that's a great
so
show.
Funny. Yeah, it really is. Brenden, what's number 4 on your list?
Mine. So I love British Top Gear. I do, but I've never laughed so hard with my dad and my brother as American Top Gear. I loved that show so much.
I don't know it.
You know what
Car show,
you know what Top Gear
70.
is? Yes.
I don't.
I've never watched it or anything, but
What?
I have a feeling
I don't
it's
watch
Top Gear.
reality shows.
No,
Is
it's just supposed to be funny. They do challenges with cars, like they'll do like an American, so they'll have like the Mustang, Camaro, Charger.
Top Gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's the American version. They were all idiots, and it was so funny. They'll do some crazy stuff. They'll make some stupid vehicles, but you'll see some badass cars in the end. And my brother, my dad, and I watched it every week until they canceled it. So
I seen a show called what was it called? Like Pimp My Ride or something, an MTV show. Is it like that kind of?
No. It's a lot better. It's like 10,000 times better.
Okay.
It's actually like
a
challenges.
much upgraded version of that where they do things with cars.
Well, yes, but it's not just like they're upgrading the car and they're going to try to sell it. They're just doing dumb challenges and stuff. It's pretty good.
Okay.
All right, Brenden, what's number 3 on your list?
All right. Well, now we're going to show my age here because I'm a lot younger than both of y'all. Mine is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
The cartoon. The cartoon.
Okay, that and M. Night Shyamalan did a really bad movie about that show, right?
Oh, it was atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was M. Night who did it, but whoever did it, it was atrocious. But like you see the ending and all that, and then like the new one they made that I didn't watch, but like Legend of Korra, like oh hey, most of the main characters they're dead. I'm like, what the hell happened? Why what do we get from here to there? So I would have liked another season. It was just super fun to watch.
Yeah. Mike, number 3 on your list.
Number 3, I'm making it up as I go. Let's do Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Now, this is the one thing on my list that actually had an ending. This is the one show that had an ending. But it's like the best.
Good.
It's hilarious. It's the best comedy show, maybe other than Chappelle Show of all time. And that's another one that could have made my list. I'd take that too. But most of mine were ones that I felt cut off early that we didn't get enough of. But I was looking for another one. I was like, well, I'd watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine all day. They could do another one of those.
For sure.
That was genius.
Well, I know Prescott's going to appreciate this answer. Mike, I know you will too. Number 3 on my list, The Chappelle Show.
For real?
Swear to God.
On the list, like you didn't just, like I said it right now. So that's awesome.
Hold on, let me.
He's writing it down as you were talking.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, Chappelle Show, that's a good one."
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. That's a great coincidence right there because it popped in my head when I was thinking like the best comedy shows ever. I always think Chappelle Show and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Which one's better?
Oh, jeez, he's blinded me.
Here we go. Sorry, there it is, right there. Number 3, Chappelle Show. Can you see?
It's completely blurry.
Oh, it's the show sheet.
Yeah,
I see it.
Now I see it.
Yes.
How did I miss that? Was that on the one you sent me?
No, this is. I mean, I sent it to you, but then I answered everything afterwards.
Oh, okay, that's why. Gotcha.
Oh. Yeah, so I'll go with number 2 on my list. Number 2, My Name is Earl. Come on. I mean, the way they ended that was atrocious, terrible, awful.
I'm gonna admit this, and this is one that's on me. My little brother has been trying to get me to. He knows I love Jason Lee. I think the guy is an absolute genius. And I can't remember why, whether I was working, I didn't have DVR or whatever, but the first season was like 7-8 episodes in before I got to where I could watch it. And I was like, I got to go back and see it first. And then I have just never remembered to do it. My little brother 100 times has told me like, start My Name is Earl, My Name is Earl, start it. You're going to love that show. And I've never seen it to this day. And it is something I need to rectify because I have heard nothing but that show is absolute genius.
Dude, okay, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is laugh out loud funny. New Girl is laugh out loud funny. My Name is Earl is so laugh out loud funny. Like so many times during one episode, dude. You have to.
I'm watching.
Have your salmon, have a spinach wrap, and then watch an episode tonight, bro. You will not be disappointed.
I promise I will watch. I promise I will start that show. I promise.
All right, Mike, number 2 on your list.
Number 2 on my list, I'm going to go with Mindhunter. Did you guys ever see Mindhunter, Netflix show?
I started it. I never got to finish it, but man, I wish I would have.
Don't now because it was supposed to have between 3 and 5 seasons. They definitely wanted one more.
Yeah.
And they cut it off. They said, I guess it cost too much to make or whatever. But man, it was so good. It was about how the like serial killer cops, the people who chase serial killers, how that got started in the FBI and stuff. It was awesome. The guys that they got to play. One of the detectives is from Hamilton. He plays King George in the original Hamilton thing. Jonathan.
He's also in Glee.
Glee. He's brilliant in this. Man, I was so disappointed. I'm still to this day, I'm like, somebody's got to pick up the show. Somebody has to. I mean, it's incredible. So yeah, that's one. I wanted to put that first, but there's one. The top show on my list is Wounded Me recently. And so I was putting it number 1 because I'm pissed off.
All right, Brenden, what's number 2 on your list?
See, I don't think y'all are gonna know this either because it's another cartoon. Like my last 2 are cartoons. I'm not gonna lie. Mike should know the last one. I'll be kind of disappointed if you don't. But mine is regular show that was aired on Cartoon Network. The ending just sucked. It made me like a little sad, but then the complete ending was like, oh, that was pretty shitty. It was most of my childhood. My brother and I watched it all the time. A lot of Cartoon Network, but it just turned out to be quite bad at the end. Really ruined it.
What is it?
Yeah, what is it?
It's hard to explain. It sounds really stupid, but it's about like these, like, I guess.
Now, what's the name of the show?
Regular Show.
Oh, it's called The Regular Show.
It's called Regular Show.
I've never seen that.
I've
heard it's really funny.
Dude, I thought I was tripping for a second. Like, did y'all not hear me say the name? Y'all thought I was saying it was a regular show. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
I have not heard of that one, man. I know the Airbender. I've never seen it, but I'm over on your shows, my friend.
I'm a kid, man. I haven't watched too many. I've watched a lot of Star Wars now, man. That's all mainly things I watch.
All right, Brenden, here we are, number 1. What's number 1 on your list?
Dude, it's the original Teen Titans. That show was awesome.
I know that one. I know that one. I like Teen Titans. That was good. I seen it a lot in the hotel when I went to Disneyland with little Denny. He loves that show, so I've seen a lot of that.
Well, it was so good. The villains, it had some dark episodes. It had some really funny ones. But then the show, like the writers knew they were ending, so they did like a really like awful like enemy that was supposed to be like the Cartoon Network execs just ruining everything. But they just wanted to cancel it. But it was the best. It was the original Teen Titans with Dick Grayson as Robin, Starfire, Beast. Dude, it was so good. Such a great cartoon.
All right, Mike, number 1 on your list.
Number 1 on my list just ended like 2 weeks ago. It's called Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. These motherfuckers ended the show with Boston beating the Lakers. Why'd you call it? You should have called it the Boston Show. They ended the show with us never beating Boston. It ended with Boston beating us because there was supposed to be another season where we go on and we beat them in 85 and then in 87 and then in 88 we go on to beat the Pistons. They ended the show with us losing, and it was supposed to be like Empire Strikes Back to set up another one, and fucking HBO canceled it. Fuck you, HBO. Change the name of the show to Winning Time, Boston's Dynasty, because that's what it was. That's what it was. Boston's fucking Dynasty. The last season had us losing to the Sixers, beating the Sixers in the shortest thing ever, and then losing to Boston and the Bird. I'm like, thanks, guys. So we went 1 for 2 in that final season. Great. That pisses me off because that was a fucking outstanding show. So well cast. John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss is one of the greatest character portrayals ever. Adrian Brody is great as Pat Riley. They got good, like, no-name guys, but they were perfect as Magic and Kareem and Cooper and Rambis. And they just... Larry Bird was unbelievable. And then they just don't give us a fuck. I hope, my God, if a place does not open, pick up that season and finish this show, fuck HBO. That's all I have to say.
Wow. Michael, some strong words. Another HBO another HBO show for here, you Mike. I know you watched this recently. I'd imagine you'd agree. Number 1 on my list, The Sopranos.
Sopranos, I'm still on season 4.
You haven't finished it yet?
No, but I know how it ends, and it's another one of those ones. See, we're a little different. I did ones where I wanted to see an ending that I didn't get, and you did ones that's like, these endings sucks. I wish they'd redo them.
Well, I mean, the Chappelle Show didn't have an ending. Firefly didn't have an ending.
Oh, I know.
My Name is
Serenity
Earl
was
didn't have
a
an
good movie,
ending.
though. That was a good, that was kind of part of their ending.
A show, I don't know if you ever watched it. It's on HBO as well, but it's called Crashing, about this guy who does stand-up comedy, like his journey through stand-up comedy. Such a good show, dude. And they canceled that way too early, too. I just thought about it while we were talking it. Yeah, it only had like 2 seasons and they canceled it. Great
show. All right, I'm going to eat. Let's go.
Yes, Mike, where can we find you on Twitter?
Letter C, letter D, Piglet. Nice and easy.
Brenden, remind the people they can find you on Twitter.
Brenden_Smith26.
Guys, I'm Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, you know, I shaved all the